Come with me to the Shaw Festival to see The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but not really because I already went and you weren't there. I actually didn't realize I booked for a relaxed performance. Let me know if you want a full breakdown of that experience, but it included a short pre-show with members of the cast. They came on stage to show how some of the props and costumes work and gave us a heads up for some of the scarier scenes. That said, let's talk about the show. Fun fact, Narnia is actually public domain in Canada, and the Shaw Festival has been commissioning new Canadian adaptations of the book since 2018, each one a world premiere. 2018 gave us The Magician's Nephew, 2019 was The Horse and His Boy, 2020 was 2020 anyway. 2023 was Prince Caspian, and this year apparently marks their final Narnia production with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which means this is yet another Narnia franchise that did not make it to the finish line with The Last Battle, but that's probably a good thing for Susan. At this point in my life, I've seen a lot of Lion, Witch, Wardrobe adaptations. Most of them stick to that classic mid-century British schoolchild fantasy tone, which is baked into the original text. However, this production breaks the mold on Narnia to varying degrees of success. This is a very contemporary take on the story. The Pevensies are wearing Converse. They have the energy and dynamic of 21st century kids, and even though they're still British, the citizens of Narnia are very North Americanized, from Mr. and Mrs. Beaver's Midwest Fargo charm to the Coachella vibes of Aslan's people. Now, I loved this choice. It breathed new life into Narnia while feeling true to the spirit of C.S. Lewis's world building. That said, while the world building was on point, the storytelling was uneven. There was virtually no fourth wall. There was a lot of direct address with scenes performed in the audience, which was fun and interactive, but that same playfulness sometimes tipped a little too far and made the show feel more like a holiday panto than a story about good and evil. And I read in the program notes that the creative team intentionally leaned away from the religious subtext, and I totally support that, but I think it came at a cost, especially to the two title characters. Jadis was charismatic, but she lacked danger. Aslan was noble, but lacked awe-inspiring glory, and he was also lacking a lion costume. I don't have time to get into that. Perhaps it was a byproduct of leaning away from the religious subtext or an effort to make the play less scary for kids, but I felt that by leaning so far into whimsy and away from darkness, Edmund's betrayal didn't carry weight, so his redemption felt like it didn't matter. That said, there were a lot of elements to this production that I think worked, especially some of the musical moments, particularly those that incorporate Alana Bridgewater as the spirit of Narnia. Is it a perfect production? No. Outside of what I discussed, there were also some pacing issues and directorial choices I didn't understand, but the key thing to remember is that this is a new work. The seeds of something breathtaking are here. I don't know if it will be developed beyond this season or not, but I hope so, especially if it leans further into its musical strengths. But I think the most important thing that I haven't even mentioned is that in spite of what I thought, every kid in the audience seemed to love it. They were fully engaged from start to finish during the performance, and I overheard some raving in the lobby afterwards. Overall, 3 out of 5 teacups.